So as you know, the way that we've been turning in work so far is a little bit involved. It's not a huge big deal, but I thought it'd be a good idea to make a video to just kind of a refresher course on how to turn in your work. So I want to go over that with you. And then if you have trouble from time to time, or you forget, like after we come back from, Thanksgiving break or Christmas vacation or whatever, you can always refer back to this. And I'll post it with every lesson so that you remember how to do it. So let's start with an example. We have to zip our files and put our names on it to get them into Google Classroom, and it's just the way Google Classroom works, and until they make improvements, we're going to have to continue to do that. So the way we do it is we just I'm in my programming folder here. If you're in AP Computer Science, yours is probably going to say AP Computer Science or AP Comp Sci or something like that. But you should, at this point, have at least, at a bare minimum, lessons 1, 2, and 3 in their own separate folders. You'll find out why we need to separate them into different folders in just a minute. But for right now, just remember that no matter what files you have for each individual lessons, they should all be in separate folders. One for lesson 1, one for lesson 2, one for lesson 3. Now, let's start with lesson 1 as an example. I'm going to start by turning or getting that one ready to turn in. So all you do is click on the lesson 1 folder, and you go in here, and I want to right click any files. So most of these lessons will have multiple files. My lesson 1 would have probably had 2 files in it, so it would have like exercise 02. And again, if you're in AP Computer Science, yours are going to say .java. They're not going to say .py. These are Python files that we use for regular programming, but it's the same concept. So your .java files are the same as your .py files here. And what you want to do is everything that says .py for you regular programming guys, or everything that says .java for you AP Computer Science guys, you're just going to want to select them all, and then you right click, and you want to send to, and one of the options is compressed zipped folder. You click the zip one, and then you're going to rename this file. You see how it takes on the file of the one that I clicked on. It takes on that file name, but what I want to do is change it, and I want you to change it to your last name underscore your first name. Now I know this would normally go without saying, but I feel like every year there's 1 or 2 people that turn in an actual file that says first name underscore or last name underscore first name, like in actuality. No, what I want you to do is put your name underscore your last name underscore your first name. So if your name is Frederick Johnson, you're going to put in Johnson underscore Frederick. And then this zip file here is the one that you turn into Google Classroom. Now the other thing you want to do is don't double click on this and then try to run the files from the zip and then panic and call Mr. Robinette, my files don't run anymore after I did what you said. They will not run from the zip folder. Your files will still continue to exist out here in the regular folder, but the ones that are in the zip will not run. I will extract them when I get them onto my computer, so you don't have to worry about it from that end. Just make sure they're running before you zip them, and then you turn in this file. Same thing goes for lesson 2. So I go into lesson 2, and even though this is lesson 2, I'm going to right click, send to compressed zipped folder. Most of you guys did lesson 2 in a single file. If you have multiple files, just select them all, right click, send to compressed zipped folder. And key part, this is the part that you need to understand, is that you're again going to call this one last name underscore first name. And again, it is your last name underscore your first name. Same thing with lesson 3. Go back to lesson 3. We're going to zip all these, select everything in lesson 3, right click, send to compressed zipped folder, last name underscore first name. And then those are the files that you turn in. Once you get the hang of it, it's pretty simple. Again, you don't want to check and see if the files are running once you've already zipped them. If you have to make changes to these files and they don't run properly, just delete the zip file, then fix whatever you need to in these files, zip it again, rename the file, and resubmit. Not a big deal. So that's a pretty simple process. And again, it's not that I'm not going to be around to help if you still are having trouble figuring it out. But most of you should be able to refer back to this at a later date if you forget or lose track of what you're doing.